leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars, having passed through the colleges and universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothing. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die.
Who do you have there, Oli? Describe what's happening.
I'm actually around the tabernacle, situated in front of the sisters' quarters, and this is where you have the Mother Earth of the nation, that balance, that Empress Wazua, Empress Men in Spirit. So we want to give blessings and morning vibrations to all the powerful room spirit energies and empresses here representing Empress Men. I was here from last night, and I will definitely say the fire lighting ceremony was very beautiful. I don't think I've ever been to Scotch Pass and seen so many beautiful, beautiful spirits around the fire and all the wonderful psalms that were read. There was also a guest, a very important guest that came in tonight from Ethiopia. We had the opportunity to hear from, and he told us a lot about Haile Selassie's village where he was born, gave us some very personal stories on just some of the pain and some of the sacrifice that Empress his mom had to endure, how she had to climb up a mountain for hours and hours right before labor, 2,000 miles above sea level. So if you haven't had the opportunity to come forward, you need to come to Scotch Pass. We're going to be here all day and all night celebrating this wonderful historic coronation, 84.
And as we heard from Jelani just now, the event is going to be including a reenactment of the coronation itself, and that goes to speaks to the fact that we're here broadcasting at 6 o'clock, because at 7 o'clock, that time, Jelani, would correspond to when the proceedings actually began 84 years ago. But past fall, where are you, and tell us what's happening in the eastern section?
Well, over by this section, we have the kitchen, and a lot of food is here from...
Why am I not surprised that Rogers has found the food? I'm not surprised.
Yes, because, I mean, when you're looking at the food stand, it's quite colorful with all the respective vegetables, the red, green, and gold. You know them.
Yes.
And a lot of people are here as well, having early breakfast, looking quite good with bananas and yams, Ilaloo, Scalaloo, beans.
Yes.
And it's looking quite attractive. And, of course, the sacraments are up and all in their glory around the place where I am too. And the aroma quite wonderful as well.
All right. We're going to be going through and speaking with members of the Nyabingi and other Rastafarians and others who have gathered here on the ground. What's happening behind me in the tabernacle, we will get to that shortly, but at the moment, maybe you can describe what's happening there, Muja. Are you able to see what's happening inside him?
No, it's love the fire vibe. That's what I believe. Every time we go out big out of the fire, me I work. Yeah, that's the fire me I work with, all right. Oh, yeah.
Jelani, maybe you can give us an idea of what's happening there now.
Well, what I gathered is that they're having the final preparations to begin the reenactment at 7 o'clock. It really requires a number of different voices to represent the different texts that were read during the coronation event itself. And while that's happening, there are various insignias which are invested. So I think what we're waiting on the final things we put in place. Of course, there's a red carpet which has been laid for the priests who will be participating, and the carpet takes us to the center pole, which is where the artifacts, insignia, images of His Majesty are. So, yeah, it's really...
And we're not able to see those right now, are we? The artifacts, insignia, etc.
Well, we could glimpse a few of them through the gaps there, but no, they're largely at the altar. So we'd have to wait a while. But it's the inscriptions of the coronation, crown, scepter, orb, etc.
So really, this is a very, very somber moment. This is different from a Nyabingi. You know, people come to Nyabingi here, but this is different from a Nyabingi.
Well, this is the classic Nyabingi because it's because of the coronation that we would hold this duty itself, to honor and represent Pan-African days and starting with the coronation. But I would say that because of the ceremony surrounding the coronation itself, this is the most liturgical Nyabingi that we have, in the sense that in addition to the chanting and general reasoning that might happen, there has been largely through generations like Ras Ivai and Ras Iration, there has been this morning reenactment which has been happening for over a decade, and it really brings that somber tone because you are led to experience the commands from the Bible used to make this moment in history inscripted. So yeah, it's my favorite event. It's a must duty for those who take the Nyabingi duty seriously, because this is really what begins our purpose. And you know, Nyabingi has a serious intent and purpose.
Yeah, and for those persons who are not so familiar with the Nyabingi itself, and then much less this, or much more of this, the difference to me, and I haven't been to many Nyabingis, to the banquet and to some of these events before, is that, and you mentioned the churchical aspect to what's happening here, and of course we're also feeling that and seeing that. So for persons who have been to a Nyabingi, experience a Nyabingi, the difference that they would experience today is what exactly? Okay,
so Nyabingis occur usually on significant days, and they go from 1 day up to 11 or 21 days, depending on the resources. During those sessions, usually at night, the chanting and drumming continues until daybreak, and sometimes there might be a break for reasoning or to deal with business that is still considered in celebration of the purpose. The fire, the prayers, the Bible reading, and all of that complements that purpose of uplifting righteousness and, you know, keeping evil at bay. Now, for this being a celebration, because of what happened in 1930, we have the accounts of National Geographic, which actually gives us the text. And if my memory serves me correctly, that service lasts for a little over an hour in trying to go through the texts and the various investments. So in a sense, you're seeing, you're taken back to the coronation itself, because as the various items are brought forward, we are given the full complement of words and actions that go along with it. So yeah, this Nyabingi, in my mind, as part of the history of Rastafari, is what really establishes the ceiling as far as where the growth of Rastafari as a new world religion can go with its own formation of ritual and significance, finding what it needs and bringing it into this as a part of our expectation now.
Muta, just before we thank you, Jelani, just before we go into the break, Muta, we were in Ethiopia together on one occasion, and you know, what we saw, for example, at the church where the Ark of the Covenant is reported to be, in terms of those who are dressed all in white in Aksum, in terms of all those who were dressed in white and the kind of a somberness that we saw there. It's because you're a little bit away from a tabernacle, you might not be getting that vibe, but all right. Something right here.
Well, all right. What you understand of the right thing? The right thing is really a national.
Yes,
the national dress. Ethiopia.
We understand that, but just to paint a picture for those persons who are not here.
Yeah.
Yes. That this is what is happening in the tabernacle.
Yeah. Well, the tabernacle is the center where it takes place. You know, I mean, usually at a Bingi, the fire is the center of what taking place, you know. But as Jalani said, this is kind of different kind of thing. Celebration you wouldn't really classify it as a Naya Bingi per se. It is really the celebration of Her Majesty's and Her Majesty anniversary. So it takes unto itself a different kind of perspective and different kind of ritual, you know what I mean? So what we're going to find today is mostly taking place under the tabernacle itself.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break. When we return, you'll hear more from the persons who are gathered here at the Scots Pass Tabernacle. Quick break, we'll be right back.
JN International Money Transfer. Safe, convenient, affordable. The time by JN Money Transfer is...
Live from the Scots Pass Tabernacle on the occasion of the 84th anniversary of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor Haile Selassie I, and Her Imperial Majesty Empress Menin. And standing with Muta, or sitting with Muta now, I see that. Yes, and all Clinton Houghton. Yes. And standing with me, Rasaibai. So,
the High Priest.
The High Priest, Rasaibai. So, with that, since Rasaibai rushing, let me talk to him quick, Muta, and then you talk to Ivy and Clinton. Rasaibai, greetings, my brother.
Blessed love, Kabu, blessed love, we give thanks. A special morning.
It is a very, very special morning. Give us a quick idea of what is going to unfold here today.
The coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie I will be reenacted. We will present all the 7 symbols of the coronation with all the relevant psalms and all the relevant scriptures that was read on that morning. So we'll just relive the moment of Sankofa back in time, November 2nd, 1930.
All right, and by reliving the moment, when you say presenting the 7 symbols, for those who don't understand, explain what that entails.
It entails the bestowal of 7 ornaments of the coronation. You know, the king was invested with his vestments, the sword of state, the scepter of his kingship, and the triple crown, 2 diamond-encrusted rings. These are symbols of the coronation, and he received them in 7. As the coronation ceremony was started at 7, and he invited 700 distinguished guests, and it took 7 months to prepare.
All right, we're going to see that unfold. Persons are already asking me on the social media if we're going to be streaming this live, and I must apologize that we didn't plan to stream this live, but we're going to create as best as possible through sound what is going to unfold. So you're going to have priests here who will be doing particular different elements of the reenactment.
Certainly, as it was 1930, had 49 devout priests and monks from all parts of the empire, the Abuna, coming as far from Egypt to Ethiopia to crown a black family. That was a phenomenal happening back in the day when race hatred was so rampant, and to find representatives of the world, great representatives of monarchies, white monarchies, coming to Ethiopia, that remote part of Africa, to pay homage to a black king, a black queen, and a prince. That was phenomenal.
Phenomenal is the word. Thank you so much, Rasaibai. We'll talk to you as the morning unfolds right here. Muta with Clinton Hutton and also Ivy. Muta.
Yeah, you know that the celebration, very interesting to know that at the time when Haile Selassie was crowned, it was the Coptic Church that actually was the ones who participated in that coronation, because the church was not nationalized. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church was not nationalized. So it was Haile Selassie who moved the church from Egypt and nationalized it into the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Ethiopia. So it's really the Coptic Church that actually did the ceremony in Ethiopia and not the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. We have to remember that, because we don't want to miscue up the history.
Yes.
You know, the history says that Haile Selassie nationalized the church in Ethiopia, and it became the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So the Ethiopian Coptic Church, after the nationalization, it was not defined as the Coptic Church anymore. But during the time of the Majesty Coronation, it was the Ethiopian, it was the Coptic Church that actually laid the foundation for that coronation. And I have here, so my brethren for almost about 50 years I know. A lot of time I have here. I have the symbolism here and the reenactment. We know so it has been done over and over again, but why you think it is necessary to actually do this?
All right, give thanks. I want to say greetings to all the listeners. Greetings in the name of His Majesty Selassie the First and in the name of Final Empress Wadira Menin. But why it is important? It is important from the Naya being and Rastafari community point of view, especially where our youths are concerned. Because when you see something visually taking place, it tends to sink into you more than if you hear it. And even for the people coming and witnessing, our reenactment and reading it, for example, me have the National Geographic magazine, the June 31 publication, and, educated and intelligent people know that National Geographic not going to just get up and just publish something that don't go so. So when I read all them things that, when, Cumulus, the Coptic Church, I go say, ye holy priests and ministers, ye nobles, look ye upon our empire as, people know that. Israel. Yes. You understand me? Then people, you don't just go out and write that. So the reenactment is important because it helps to educate our youth. And even a lot of Rasta people coming here because they have never taken up a book and read about the coronation because they know Muta. That's why I will come up and say Rastafari, but a lot of I don't read. And some who read don't really know. But it is important from an educational point of view.
Historically, we hear the title of Haile Selassie when on the throne, and people must understand also that the name Haile Selassie was given to him at birth. It's not when he was crowned, because like we have a Christian name, it's a Roman Catholic Church Bible like this. But I know a Christian name. Never use a Christian name. I get it like Spice Man. It's a look at each other for no document.
But talking about Christian name, my Christian name was spelled wrong and ended up being an African word. Yes.
You're fortunate.
I can tell you.
Anyway, what it is that at birth he was given the name from the church. And then his parental name was Tafari Makoden. And when he ascended the throne as defender of the faith, it now become apparent that them use the name Haile Selassie the First. And the titles, which a lot of Rastafari, brethren and sisters, and even people hear these titles and wonder where we get these titles from. I believe it's just Rasta, I read the Bible, and I say, them I call him when them see Jesus Christ's name in the Bible, not knowing that these titles is representative of the lineage of the emperors of Ethiopia, so speak to that, right? Like the Lion of Judah.
Okay, well, the history of the Solomonic lineage in Ethiopia goes back 3,000 years. And it's a fact that the emperors that were crowned, even before Haile Selassie, were given the title, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of tribal, the elect of God, light of Israel, and so on. But it happened thus that it is only in Ethiopia that you see anybody from any dynasty having those titles, right? I mean, it's biblical, but at the same time, the average Christian out, if you ask them, who is going to refer to them, and tell you Jesus. But at the same time, Jesus, our Christ 2,000 years ago, Yeshua, was never crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. These titles are only in Ethiopia over the period of the 3,000 years since the Solomonic dynasty,
And we must understand so that the Ethiopian maintained that dynasty linked with David. Even though there was a break over a period of time, the Zagwe dynasty, but it catch up back, and they still relate to their emperors as descendants of the Solomon. That's why the Lion of Judah represents the Judaic dynasty of David and Solomon, knowing that anybody who is from David is Judah, since David was the second king, but the first from that tribe. And then Israel maintained that lineage as the emperors. And Haile Selassie now is the 225th king, according to the Ethiopians, from that dynasty where they say Makeda went and visit Solomon. So it carry on the link. So a lot of people hear Rasta say these things. I believe say just Rasta and the Ganja say, and not just historical references. And the Ethiopians maintain that too. It's not just, it's there we get it from. It's not like we come make it up and then it spread. It was there and we come unroot it and realize it. But we need something to continue, the continuity of history. And we decide that we will use that as our perspective in history.
Right. And it is important, Muta, that one look at it can relate the theological aspect to the historical aspect. Right? Because, like we say, Christians relate it to a non-existing something, right? Now, the fact that we now come see Haile Selassie, we must also remember the role that Haile Selassie played along with Ethiopia in the whole liberation struggle of African people, right? And that is why it is so important to honor even the coronation, because remember, when Haile Selassie was crowned, basically the whole of Africa was under European colonialism, right? Ethiopia was a country that stood out and had its own monarchy, maintained its own sovereignty, was an independent state. Ethiopia now had inspired, under the leadership of Haile Selassie, have inspired other states to become independent to the point that the OAU could have been established in 1963 with 32 independent states. So we have to learn. And that is the way a lot of educated people, and we give thanks to the university youth them out that they can interact with history. Why? Because it is important that we can tie in and say, look here, and a coincidence, and a coincidence. There's so much things biblical, Muta, where historically I have seen it fulfilled. Can't go in order it, but there are a lot that I have seen.
I must recognize, I'll go back to the title. What Mr. Houghton, the camera said here. You don't let your camera in, man. The camera is this man, I have him soul, All right. We must recognize, too, that this title, where most Christians hold on King of Kings in the name of Jesus Christ. We must recognize, too, that in Ethiopia, there are many kings, but the emperor is the king of the kings. So it's not like we are used something outside to grasp the whole lamp. This is something that is indelible in Ethiopia, that many kings, the emperor is the king of kings. Many queens, the empress is the queen of queens. You understand? So when you hear Rastaman say king of kings, it's not something out of spoken. You understand? It's something that is indelible from them time there. The Lion of Judah, that lion represents the power, and the Judah represents the tribe that the Ethiopians claim that their emperor descended from. Just the Lion of Judah.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah. Muta, I'm going to interrupt you because we're not streaming live, and for our listeners to get a view, get an idea of what I am looking at in terms of you, IMV, and Dr. Clinton Hutton
in front of the fire.
In front of the massive, a big fire, sitting on the tree stumps, on a massive tree stump, and just holding a fire, and the brethren was standing around you, and the smoke, and I seeing you through the haze and all of that. It is really a beautiful morning and a beautiful sight.
This is what Rastafari philosophy developed from.
Yes.
That even at the shanty town, even at the jungle, it's the same way them used to sit down on the tree stump or anything where them could have find and burn a fire, have them chalice, and reason that even though them was in the worst part of the city, them could have still look at somebody and say, love my brethren, love my sister. I wonder how people shall not suffer so and still have so much love in them heart.
I want somebody to take Dr. Clinton on camera and take a picture of that so we can get that view.
You know what, Clinton is a picture.
Clinton must be in the picture.
There's no picture we're taking up.
He has to be that one.
No, just say, she wants somebody to take your camera and take the picture straight away that you can begin, that you can begin at the picture. Yeah. Clinton.
It is a beautiful sight. Yes.
Come over, so I can't stretch with him. And a man who university man and Professor and all them thing there. Oh, the eyes it is. Oh, the eyes. So, well, the coronation of His Majesty, I would regard as one of the most important historical events in the last 500 years. And you rank that with the Asian Revolution, because it is one of the premier events that cut a path to the aspiration of black people who have been enslaved in their millions and colonized over the last 500 years. And so, this event that we are now celebrating today, the 84th anniversary of the crowning of His Majesty, actually is the trigger for the creation, if you will, of the Rastafari movement. From the early 1930s, Leonard Howell, Robert Hines, and the others, and which is now a global movement, without a doubt. In fact, one of the most important developments of the 20th century in terms of a spiritual movement is without a doubt that. And every corner of the world that you go today, you see Rastafari. And you mentioned earlier about the philosophy of Rastafari, of love, in a context where it was hate and the subordination of Africans. That was the order of the day, and yet Rastafari could pronounce to the world, love, trust, freedom.
Yeah, you know, there's a song by Bonwiller named Black Heart Man, where the Black Heart Man song show you how one, like for instance, me, you know, we used to look on a set of people and despise them, and then you actually become the set of people who is despised. You know, in relationship to how they used to view the Rasta man, in live in the jungle, in live in the gully, out the lonely part of the country, and then now you come realize, you know, but you is the one now who come out of that and become Rastafari now.
Right. Classical song. Black Heart. The album generally, I regard as.
Yeah, but the Black Heart Man, the Black Heart Man is the man. Yeah. The Black Heart Man is the man that is despised. And because them old people look up on black, when a person comes to say him hard black, it's like he's supposed to be the most evil person. But now come recognize how important it is to have a black heart. You know, it's even more than not red heart. My heart is black. Nobody can tell me.
You don't have a color problem?
No, I don't have a color.
Everything is black. But I'm going to go it. You are just 15 minutes away from actually going live to the tabernacle to carry as much of the reenactment as possible. And so I want to throw it to Roger and Oli Matatal. I'm not quite sure who they are with. Oli?
Yeah, I'm actually here with Prince Fagan, who's with the School of Vision, and he's going to talk to us about the unity right now, because there's a lot of mansions, different sectors of Rastafari being represented, and he's going to talk about the beauty of that and how important that is.
Well, actually, it is very significant at this time for the reunification of all the mansions, as it is expressed by the Emperor, by the Psalms. The whole of Buddha, not pleasant it is, for I and I to dwell together in unity. So the occasion now would mark 84 years in commemoration of the 2nd of December 1930, the crowning the King Rastafari. Haile Selassie, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, King of Kings and Lord of Gods. So today it is significant that all the mansions that are invited are actually here. And the unity is needed because there's so much complexity and differences amongst us. But this occasion here would provide a proper opportunity to reason out the matter in celebration.
Now, for those who are not really familiar with Rastafari, just tell us what those mansions are and just a little bit about which each one represents.
Well, I represent School of Vision, which actually is a Bible school. They don't all accept the same doctrine, or we don't all operate on the same doctrine. The School of Vision now is a baptismal order seeking to sensitize even the mansions at large the necessity
for baptism in this new name, not Jesus Christus then, but Emperor Haile Selassie I know. So we want to express that.
Only I'm going to cut into you just to say a good morning to Sister Mitzi who passing because she's in Louis. Sister Mitzi, good morning.
I am blessed. I'm very blessed to see RFM here this morning.
I'm very blessed to see you. How are you doing?
I am blessed. I mean, it's an islandful occasion. We're happy to have the family out like this. I just went to bless up Priest Pagan, who Vision came to celebrate with us.
And he was talking just now to Ole about the unity and the amount, the different houses and mansions that are represented here today.
We tried our best to make that happen. We wanted the coronation to be a celebration of Rastafari. Because when Haile Selassie was crowned, and the world recognized that, and African people recognized that, and Rastafari came to acknowledge that we weren't separated in mansions at that time. So this is an islandful moment now to bring us forward together.
And for this to be happening at Scott's Pass today.
Can you imagine? And Kabu, I'm really, really happy that you made the effort to be here because this is historic for us. So from now we can just see us moving forward and just rising higher within ourselves. So I'm happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here, Sister Mitzi. We'll see you before the morning is out. Only I'm not quite sure if you're rapping with Priest Fagan, and should I send it to Roger?
When I'm here,
okay.
Kabu.
Yes, Roger, go ahead.
Yes, very significant and symbolic day in terms of what is happening now. I want to see Kabu still on the food. No, I'm at the southern section now. And I'm with a brethren with a powerful name, Ras Ayatollah. He is the caretaker for the place, and he'll just give us a little reasoning about, the whole symbolism of today, the gathering, and the overall atmosphere as we are here this morning celebrating the 84th anniversary of the coronation of his and her Imperial Majesty.
Just before he does that, Roger, Shane has to go for a break, and I'm wondering if we should do that because in 10 minutes time, everything is going to start in the tabernacle. So, all right, so let us make a minute or two from Ras Ayatollah, which we throw it to the studio and come back so we can take as much of this time.
Yes, Ras Ayatollah, yes.
Past Naibingi Tabernacle, where we are today celebrating the 84th current anniversary of the crowning of His Imperial Majesty and Her Imperial Majesty. Back to you, Roger.
Yes, Ras Ayatollah, I want you to tell us about the overall symbolism of everyone gathering here this morning in this celebration.
Yes, just special occasion to the crowning of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Selassie, I press my name. This is a special day because we always have a gathering like this in Montego Bay. And today, for the first time, we have a gathering like this, celebrating the coronation of the King in Manchester, Scotland. So we give thanks. It's a great moment.
Yeah, man, and significant that you're also on the border of Manchester, Clarendon. What is happening right now?
Well, right now, we're having the ceremony going on right now towards the King. Ceremony is going on right now. The people are gathering in the tabernacle. And we are giving our praises unto the Kings of Kings.
And you are the caretaker for the place. Tell me quickly about the entire environment around here.
Well, from 20 years ago, I'm on this ground here, the caretaker, keeping the compound officially clean and keep everything in order. That is my duty, to put everything in order to the bridge them gather.
Yeah, powerful name, Ayatollah. Back to you, Kabu.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. Just a few minutes before we throw it to the Tabernacle Moja, but many houses of Rastafari are represented here today. Persons from academia, as we're seeing, I'm very happy to see Dr. Herbert Gale, who was just here. But a vast cross-section of people here at Moja. This is good considering that we're coming out of a period where we were talking about a lack of unity. As Sister Mitzi was saying, this in itself is another manifestation point in terms of going forward for Rastafari.
Yeah, well, we are going to talk about unity and uniformity, and sometimes because people don't hear the Rastafari movement building hospital and school and clinic, them say it's that we should have do. But it is even more than that, really, because the soul of black people is so lost that right now, just for even admitting he's African is a big problem in Jamaica. So you can't see where the Rastafari have to start from. And we know we have got still, but to gather the people them in a one consensus. And the first thing to say is that, yeah, me is African. It's really a struggle in itself. So can you imagine now if we don't have a certain kind of liberation in ourselves, and we decide now, say, boy, right now we have to start about build hospital and everything there. And pure sick people who say them are African, or who don't know them are African, are going to the hospital, which is really a problem. So now, the education have to continue. The education, Rastafari have to continue that education, because even youth themselves who watch the Rasta right now don't even know nothing about Rasta. You understand? So this auspicious occasion is one of them occasions where you have to visually show the people them. And as I said, the cross-section of people is very significant and important, because it's not only Rasta there. I would say, really, one's interested to find out certain things. We know one's the righteous or no. We ask questions, we say, why would I really like find out? We don't really say, I want to ask about that. And this is a good place to have them questions, the answer, you know?
Exactly. A really beautiful, very, very beautiful day here at the Cosmos Nabingi Tabernacle. Dr. Herbert, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm there. How are you?
Did you overnight here? I thought so, because you couldn't come so early without overnight. What are your thoughts on what's unfolding?
They don't me come here, I never overnight.
No, you never overnight.
Oh, yes,
you drive from far. What are your thoughts about what's happening here?
It's absolutely beautiful. I think this is my 11th year. So, Montego Bay to here. And a lot of people have been comparing the transition from there to here. But, I mean, watching the students get a chance to experience, in that coronation is absolutely for them a privilege.
And you have your students again with you this year?
Every year.
Wow, brilliant. All right, having seen 11 years of this, and this was 84 years since the coronation, it means that you've been looking at Rastafari seriously for many, many years. What do you think about, most of us talk about people want to see Rastafarians in hospitals, etc. What do you think about that aspect of the development of Rastafari in Jamaica?
I think the modus of Rastafari now is basically like getting into a second gear, because we've seen the push for black identity, which has been largely achieved throughout the world because of Rastafari. What we've seen now is a kind of economic movement of a number of persons within Rastafari. Of course, also the educational movement, and taking a claim within society to create leadership within the mainstream of society. We've also seen the ear change among mainstream people, the Sister Locks and the Twists and all of these, helping people to further appreciate the fact that you don't have to go the cream and so forth. I think one of the things that a lot more persons, especially Rastafaris who are academics, are concerned about is the economic standard of Rastafari children and the future. And therefore I think that any commercial area, not talking necessarily about commercial that is overly aggressive and barbaric, but in the sense of expansion would be welcomed among Rastafari.
Thank you very much, Dr. Herbert Gale. Just 3 minutes before the proceedings kick off here at the Tabernacle, and if we could just lay our hands on somebody who can tell us exactly what is happening here right now. It's not Iron Aaron's, no? Iron Aaron's. Greetings, my brother. What exactly is happening here now?
I have to kill it on the coronation of His Imperial Majesty for Selassie. I will give thanks for the occasion. Look quite extravagant, and attendant.
Yes, it really looks good. It's a very, very good look. So, do you know who's speaking there now?
I know, so the person is the Rush I speak now.
All right, so this is usually what happens. There is a talk first to the group before what?
Before the actual presentation and the reaction.
All right, so thank you very much, Brother Aaron, because we want to throw it now. Just about 2 minutes. I know that this is going to kick off because they're really taking the time here, and we want to throw it to the Tabernacle. so you can pick up exactly and hear for yourself exactly what's unfolding inside of the tabernacle at the moment. With 2 minutes to go, Jelani, you probably...
I'm here with Sister Icelia.
Yes,
from the Nyabingi, and she's going to talk a little bit because, without His Majesty, you also have Her Majesty, and we want to honor and present. And she's going to talk today about how important it was for Haile Selassie to hold the ceremony.
All right, Ole Mataton, I don't think you have the time because we have just a minute to go in to the tabernacle, so 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Yes. The importance of the coronation. It is very important because this is what we tell the world. This is the only chance we have to let the world know that.
All right, we're gonna interrupt Ole and just throw this now to the tabernacle.
We got to witness the majestic ceremony. The dew, as Psalmist said, is like the dew of Hermon that descended upon the mountains of Zion. And it was clear to all that nature was in harmony with the emperor-elect who had worked incessantly from childhood, then as governor, as regent, as king, and was now to be crowned the King of Kings.
Who will be reenacting the coronation. But at the moment, it is Nyabingi, the sounds of the drums of Nyabingi.
Yes, the harp. The harp. That's the traditional name over here, this side of the world as well, and that means the harps on the bass, to the kepes, to the repeaters, all in harmony, and the voice.
The ceremony had begun, and all stood in awe and reverence. A bishop then commenced the final repetition of the words of the 122nd Psalm.
I was glad when they said unto I, let them go to the house of the Lord. I think we're standing in the gate of Jerusalem. I will some people that come back together, when the child goes up, the child of the Lord, and the testimony of our grave. To give thanks and eyes unto the Most High, Rastafari. For they are the souls of judgment, so we have the most of greater David. I must pray for the love of Jerusalem, the most part of that lover. Please be in my heart and prosper that Palestine. Find our brethren and companion peace, I will now say peace, because of the house of the Lord, O God, Rastafari. And I will ever seek thy name. Baba Janai, Baba Janai, Baba Janai, Rastafari.
These uplifting and magnificent words from the psalmist were chosen by the emperor-elect as they emphasized the importance of unity and brought a message of peace, love, and brotherhood among the many tribes of his kingdom. Before the emperor-elect, on a table covered with a beautifully embroidered fabric, were the scepter, sword, and the other symbolic appurtenances of the coronation. It was already for the venerated services of anointing, and to make us feel proud as head of state, the continuation of a dynasty which had its beginning before the flood. His Holiness, the Bu and Mutabaruka, a man of small stature, had traveled from Egypt, representing the ancient Alexandrian Coptic Church. He stood in reverence with his cross held to his chest, and seemed ready to perform his sacred duty. In a beautifully adorned altar before him was a gold-bound volume of the Holy Scriptures, the Book of Oath, the 7 sacred oils of anointing to be used before the bestowal of each of the 7 symbols of the coronation, and the censer from which smoke arose and fumigated the cathedral. Beside this altar stood 2 young deacons who looked like guardian angels, ready to assist their superior. The Archbishop exhorted the people to be loyal and obedient to the Emperor, the elect of God. As he stood in his priestly vestment, his voice echoed the words. Ye princes and princesses, and ministers, ye doctors and chiefs of the clergy, ye professors and priests, ye nobles and chiefs of the army, look ye upon our Emperor Haile Selassie first. descended from the dynasty of Menelik I, who was born of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, a dynasty perpetuated without interruption from that time to King Saad, Selassie, and to our time. To him we shall give all obedience, not only in deeds, but even with your hearts. The proclamation by the Abuna was received in perfect silence. He then placed his hand upon a gold-bound volume of the Holy Scriptures, which seemed as if it was in existence from the time of Enoch, and turned towards the throne of the emperor, asking with a stirring voice, "Do you, hail Selassie I, swear to uphold with all your strength the holy faith of the Alexandrian Church, which you know from the time of the holy kings Abraham, Abshabah, have been in existence and in force?" I swear it, replied the emperor. "Do you pledge that during your reign you will handle the populace with justice, kindness, and strength? Do you swear to preserve the boundaries of your empire and the lands of all your people? And will you continue always good works, spreading instructions both in things of mind and of the spirit, in places of learning and consecrating to this purpose?" "I will be the righteous monarch commanded of my king." He kisses the Bible, and then affixed his signature to the book in which is recorded all the words of the oath. The Lion of Judah then sat back on his throne. From the shining censers, slowly swung by two priests who approached the throne, the sweet aroma of sacred incense arose and fumigated the cathedral and the great tent. Torches of Aksum, Lalibela, Gondor, and those of other churches of the empire were uplifted in every corner of the cathedral. The Abuna commenced the recitation of the 72nd Psalm of David. "Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. He shall fear thee as long as the sun and the moon endure throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon the mount grass, like showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, an abundance of peace, so long as the moon endureth. He shall have 1,000,000 also from sea to sea, and from the rivers unto the ends of the earth. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The kings of the Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him, for he shall deliver the needy when he cry. The poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and the needy, and shall save the souls of the needy. He shall redeem their souls from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. And he shall live, and unto him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. A prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. Rastafari. There shall be a handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like the land, and they of the city shall flourish like the grass of the earth. His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun. As long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed. Blessed be the Almighty, and his glorious name forever. And his earth be filled with his glory. Eli, Selassie, Rastafari. Eli. The prayer of the living evangelist creed were now uttered in the prayers of David, the son of Jesse. Dying, continue. The prayer of the living evangelist were now uttered in low tones.
We understand that this aspect of it might be a little bit muffled for our listeners, but the entire gathering is actually participating in the prayer.
Yes, and in the actual enactment, and it's quite symbolic that a set of people, desolate, downtrodden people, far away from the ancient tradition, is here keeping that ancient tradition alive by acknowledging the crowning of an ancient king, an ancient throne that was ascended, and it's quite symbolic as we're seeing now the priests, and they're going through their respective rituals and so on.
For the persons who are standing, because the tabernacle has overflown, in terms of persons who are gathered there, just saw persons, because of his prayer, normally you raise your hand to the east, and we saw that ritual just being performed.
Royal treasurer came forward.
And lots of beautiful frankincense burning.
Brilliant. I show you back.
Multiplicity of aromas as well.
I need to go. Of aromas is true, and I just saw Muta looking fire. I don't know how Muta looking fire. I think Muta is taking fire for the incense. As we throw it back to the tabernacle, where the 84th anniversary of the crowning of His Imperial Majesty the Emperor Haile Selassie and Her Imperial Majesty Empress Menin. The reenactment of that is actually underway.
There is another reading from the Gospel by a priest who had traveled for days on horseback.
On horseback, one of my most memorable moments of being in Ethiopia is heading towards the former house of Menelik. And seeing the ancient Ethiopians, because I'm calling it that, on horseback, moving through like an aroma warrior.
Yes, I mean, just to see that must be a little bit nostalgic spiritually.
I'm telling you about
and that this is an ancient tradition, and nothing. I mean, nowadays we're talking about people who study anthropology and all of those ologies and so on. Will know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Let us take it back to the tabernacle. Feeling big grounds, this is Roger. We talk about the mount.
Quite spacious.
Yeah, quite spacious. And we're nearer to the fire than before. And as I said before, once you hit the mount, you're close to the fire. The tabernacle is overflowing in terms of the amount of persons. Okay, here is Muta with the frankincense. Muta, come right here, sir. Come right here, sir. I'm walking like a high priest straight out of Ethiopia. Muta, this is, somebody please stream this live. Muta, this is a good look. Let me hold the microphone in the meantime. Oh, wow. So Muta, what do you call this thing at the end? Wow, it smells nice.
I said, brother, but we don't have to spill out the place. Right around the tabernacle.
So this is the incense burner, like where you see the priest walking with that.
Yeah, well, it's not the specific one. We have one, but it's not the specific one.
It's not,
but it's serve the purpose.
Right, I'm saying.
The frankincense in there. Come from Ethiopia.
Wow, it smells very good. So, Muta, why I want to describe it for our listeners, since we're not streaming, so that for persons who don't know, this is one that you normally see the priest walking around and just singing. Singing someone.
Yeah, moving incense right around. So we do that too. And the tabernacle and walk right through the tabernacle.
And you see the smoke just rising, but it's really
a nice aroma. Of course.
Really. Put it back here. It's
a very unique aroma in terms of yeah, man. When it smells,
that's why the kids will be fresh. I remember kids. Concrete feet.
It's concrete asphalt.
Concrete radiant.
He's in a very deeply and highly split.
That was yeah, so it's going on quite good, and you can see the tabernacle is jump up here now because that is the center of what is happening. And say the same time when it starts, the same time the coronation starts in Ethiopia.
Right.
And I think it takes about an hour. The whole proceedings in Ethiopia take about an hour, so it's really a true enactment.
Can I interrupt you, Musa? Can I just hold on medicine come this way? Hold it down this. Yes, thank you very much.
You have to come, so you have to make me turn up.
Oh, good. Wow.
Yeah, right.
You've been cleared, Andrea. Now all the negative energy is gone. You positive.
I never have no negative energy, but thank you.
Just trying to come back to see your wife first.
I understand you, Ole. But this is really nice. So, Musa, you just impressions of what you see happening here.
Yeah, well, I have to say, this thing used to happen up Granville, and it moved to here now. So it's the same thing, the enactment and the same ritual, and we need to do it every year because every year a new set of youth come. Which I can see a whole heap of youth there now with them pen and paper and them iPad and do this and do that. So it's a thing that they will go home and share with other people and say Rastafari upon a level where they might never have known before.
And that's just a mood of the iPad because a whole different way of recording that we're seeing here. Yeah. A lot of iPads and a lot of phones and the digital technology.
Yesterday I was at Belmont Academy. 600 students, 600 of them have iPad.
There you go.
I attack the whole class and I'm pure iPad. They say, right now. Them edit it's like them edit the iPad and them bodies just human beings.
And that is why we talk about citizen journalism because can you imagine when they leave here, that's going to be posted on the social media and that becomes journalism at the highest level.
Civic journalism. And even one out of the group must go with a different perspective, one out of the group must say, wow, them never learned that up on a level there, and the coronation of Selassie, people hear about it all the while, but, them you see, I always go back to it, I only for the things that Rastafari say, and do have a historical reference point. People feel say it's we just sit down here and smoke ganja and have nothing to do. I will just make up things. This is a good example of something that was not made up by Rastafari, but have a historical foundation.
You're the keepers of an ancient tradition.
Yeah, so, people must just, you must go investigate, not just sit down back and say, Rasta foolishness. You understand? Because Rasta foolishness now become medical diagnosis to people. Rasta foolishness now, everybody talk about sister lots and brother lots and mother lots and Rasta foolishness have no people talk about reparation.
It can't be that foolish.
So the way I'm on the patrol, no, but you have me at your fire, you see, and some people go, before time you go up in the give it to you,
but the whole reparation thing, it's so Rastafari learn all of that.
That's the builder refuse have become now the building.
Yeah.
So we have now is that, and it is inevitable.
It might not happen, but
that's where I say no, within that space of time, if Rasta was so right with so much things, what else is it that Rasta is right with that the people is looking down upon?
Yes.
We have to investigate that. Look, if we tell them about food, we tell them about ganja, reparation, Africa, all of these things we don't tell the people them about. So what else is there that we have been saying that the people them need now to look on seriously?
Love.
Very good point. Only matter I hear you in the background, so I know you're there with someone, and I'm not quite sure exactly where you are. But go ahead, because I know you want to talk a little bit about Empress Menin, and that she was also found on this day, the anniversary date, that is. Go ahead, Oli.
Yes, I have one of the anchors of the Rastafari community, Fire Mama of the Nyabingi, and she's going to tell us a little bit of the importance of Empress Menin.
Rastafari. King Selassie the first and Empress Menin, and I Father and I Mother of creation. Give thanks for the fullness of creation with the balance of Mama and Daddy. Yes, I just want to tell the world this morning I am feeling so good, wonderful good, to know that Daddy never leave Mama. King Rastafari never leave Empress Menin, our mother. He prove it to the world that he can't work without his wife, and he cannot work without his mother. Mama proved it also, she'll never work without her husband or her father. And we are the children, so we are feeling so good this morning to know, because she can never leave out anyone. Them stand up for the sons and the daughter of life. Rastafari. And because of that, I want to tell the whole world, Mama Empress Meaning was such a humble, faithful, and true, holy, and true to His Majesty. That His Majesty see her worthy that she could trade with him. So therefore, prove it to the world and say, yes, this woman is an example. And that is the footstep that I and Naya being the daughters and the Rasta woman of creation have to do. Just follow the footstep of I and humble ourselves, love our king man, love our father, love our son, and they also love them mother, love them sister, love them wife, and them daughter, and everything will be alright.
Alright.
Happy Musa, Emperor Ilya,
Rastafari.
And it goes to the point that you were talking about earlier, Roger, where you talked about love in response to
What else?
Yeah. Yes.
A real poet today, it's very so what else him just say love.
Love, yes.
You know how immense place as a sister fired us at about Empress Menin. We have to understand also that it was a tradition of Ethiopia to crown the emperors after, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after.
Exactly.
It is Haile Selassie who declared the breaking of that tradition by saying, look here, no, we have to crown right now beside me. So that is something that our people need to know, that Rastafari Haile Selassie I did declare his empress right beside him at the same time of coronation, and that has been written in history indelibly.
And I think as part of this, for those who are oral historians who would tell the story of and use the coronation as a marker, that is it's our responsibility to ensure that is in the oral tradition.
Of course, maintain that balance, very important.
Just in case our listeners are wondering, the proceedings are really going on in the tabernacle. We want to rejoin the tabernacle as soon as we're able to. And Boja mentioned earlier that it is overflowing in terms of the persons who are inside. As soon as we're able to, we will rejoin the proceedings, the reenactment of the coronation of their Imperial Majesties live. All right, so we're coming to you live from the Scots Pass Tabernacle. Even as we speak, people are coming in, and it's been a steady stream of persons coming into the Scots Pass Nabingi Tabernacle, the grounds area. I don't think anybody is going to hold the tabernacle. So we're just going to have to keep it at the ground.
I want to say something about the idea of a Naya Bingi and how long there's people coming in now. I have been in my life, I have been into Naya Bingis for the last 21 days.
Wow, yeah.
And we sit down there till 21 days.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Like, here in Jamaica?
Yeah, man, Jamaica. But what now is that in those times, the Rasta who did a farm to meet the Bingi. In other words, if you know, so the Bingi is now, and so you want some pop tramping thing, it's 3 months that they could come. So 3 months before you start the plant. So when you look at the kitchen, food like worries.
Yes.
So everyone who are cook now, them just go to the kitchen and just ask what them want and just go one side, below them wood fire and cook it. So that is one aspect of the Naya Bingi where need to emphasize. Is
that still happening in terms of how...
Well, I don't know if man really have, because you see, you have some man now we turn to chips and we don't know where my turn to. They turn to chips, right? That's it. So the plant, it kind of take back seat for a whole heap of man now. Some man are coming, because them tell you, man are coming in cocos bag, and when you go to boom, it's a pumpkin. Cocos bag, vegetable, cocos bag, this. No, because have a little paper bag.
And I've seen that to Mojan, but what you're bringing us to, and I think is very, very important to stress, is the connection of the farming, the connection of the land and the farming with Rastafari.
Well, if you notice, most Rasta youth when them start inside Rasta, they want to go farm. And that is something where one must recognize, though, that most Rasta youth, know, the first little thing they want to do is farm. And they never really give up in school thing, but they want to go farm. So even that in itself must show them say there is something spiritually connecting Rastafari liberty with the earth that even the little youth them are come side Rasta. Them say they want a piece of land to farm. I don't have no Rasta youth that don't really want to plant something.
That is true. And earlier this morning it was Rasta Ivi, who mentioned the concept of Sankofa here today.
Yes,
the importance of Sankofa.
Yes,
and as you talk about the farming and the extent to which, nabbing would have gone on for 21 days, but that food was, and farming was...
I never used to sell to,
I know, that's
never used to sell.
So in the concept of Sankofa,
yes.
that is something that...
Because sometimes you see a man left the bingy with all a van, and when you see him come back, you see all 2 cocos bag of coconut, 2 cocos bag of pancho. I mean, all the vegetable were necessary for hold you for 21 days. So we don't strong in it. Like with them days, me and provide them, I want use to boil oil. Because we used to boil oil for living,
You see
the place where them call a place out of Robinson Bay, the name.
Robinson Bay? Strawberry Field?
No, the place where out of Orchard, man, right? Where them swing song and swing this and swing that.
That's River Park?
No, eh? No, man. Like I've got to Robinson Bay, man. I have to remember it, man.
Which one in Robinson Bay?
The seat that I said, no, them good at them build up a big park, where you can go, swing things and...
Oh, Mystic Mountain.
Alright, it's a Mystic Mountain.
Yes.
Mystic Mountain are where we have our genesis in a height and liberty in a bush there. We used to stay in a bush there and plant and coconut, and we used to boil oil. I mean, when we have boil oil, we come out there with buckles of coconut oil, and we used to sell it for like $1.50. When you see coconut oil now, it's something where when you come a bingy, you don't have no other oil in the bingy, no shop oil in the bingy. That's where we make sure ourselves in the bingy, and them things that we always have straight to the one them.
And it's important that you should mention that area, Moshe, because you realize that is part of the Warring River watershed,
yes.
All of that area.
Where them take
that is now that they are about to give to China.
Yes, yes. And that's how we used to do.
That's
how we used to do.
That's how we do still.
Yes.
So, all right, quite a few young people coming in right here, and well, I suppose, I don't know if they're just coming. So let me find out, and everybody have just what you say.
I can find out, so you see my walk.
I got some young people. I got young people.
Where are you, Oli?
I'm right here. I've got some students from UE.
All right, okay, go ahead, Oli, because we have some right here too. Glenmuir.
All right.
All right, yes, go ahead.
I'm here with Sheldon Sharp. Just tell us a little bit about who you're here with.
We're here from the University of West Indies, Mona. The course that the students are doing is called Caribbean Culture. Of course, the aim is really to sensitize students about our history, about the history of our creating an identity, because of course that's what Rastafari is about, who we are as a people. And so, yes, we visit all these various sites in the course because we want students to be aware of the norms, behaviors, attitudes of Caribbean people. But Rastafari is very important because of the consciousness that it builds in terms of the work that Marcus Garvey has done, the way Selassie has uplifted the black people, in delivering the people of Africa or the Ethiopians from the oppression that they were undergoing.
So tell me, sir, what are you going to tell the students at UE when you go back about your first bingy and celebration?
It's an interesting experience. It's a very cultural experience which I encourage people to come and see for themselves because Rasta is a part of the Jamaican culture. So I recommend this. At least once in your life come and visit and see what it's all about.
Are you over here from last night?
Yes, I am.
So what was it like to be here overnight?
I mean, trust me, at one point I felt students all on the street aromas, definitely. And I mean, it was a great experience, believe me. I would do it again and again.
And I must say that I am part of that course.
You're part of
Identity, Rastafari, Caribbean identity.
Okay.
Caribbean identity, yeah, we always go up there.
As a lecturer?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I have a small little one. Just let her speak on behalf of the little one. All right.
All right, Oli, Roger. Yes, go ahead, Roger.
Some students and possibly a teacher from the noble institution out of Mayfield Junior High. And let me...
Paparazzi.
Yeah, we got paparazzi.
There is all artists.
Yeah.
And good morning, what's your name?
Good morning, I'm Nathaniel Stewart.
You are, I suspect, a tutor, teacher there at Glenmure.
A teacher at Glenmure High School.
The purpose of these students we're seeing now taking their photographs, filming, and so on.
What we have is there are students from the photography club at Glenmure High School, and we also have some students from members of the Jamaica National Resolution Project team. The theme for this year is rites and rituals, and therefore they are here capturing one of the rituals of the Rastafarian culture as part of that competition. And the students from the photography club are now being exposed to what happens within the Rastafarian culture, capturing the event, making sure that they get a true impression of what exactly is going on.
And the document of this event this morning is a very important part in the whole ritual studies that your group is going through.
Yes, it is. And that's why we also took one of the students who is doing an IA project, that is for the sixth form, the communication part. So she's here to actually view what is going on.
Who is that student?
She's back here.
Okay. I mean,
I just hear from that student.
Yes.
And
that
also
student was walking away when you said you're going to school. Walking away. Good morning, and how are you doing?
Good morning, I'm fine.
Yes, and tell me about your overall role in what is happening here this morning.
Well, I came because I wanted to study Nabingi for my IA, and they were coming as a
When you say IA, what is that?
internal assessment.
Okay.
Yes. So I came because of that, and they were coming as the photography club. So, it was a nice little, you understand? So I just decided to come and get a personal experience of what the development.
And what is your experience so far?
Well, I just came, so.
Okay, and what was your impression before coming here?
First, seeing so many recipes with one environment. So it's okay so far as how it goes.
And we'll talk later then.
Yes.
And we like I hear.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your name? And you're from the photography club. What's your name?
I'm Orel Wooden.
Are you from the club?
Yeah, I'm a former graduate there.
All right. Have you ever seen anything like this? Have you experienced anything like this before?
No, it's actually my first experience, and I'm really grateful to be here today to really experience what this is all about.
So are you just taking pictures of everything, the fire, motor, everything?
Cover, pictures of everything.
Hey, this guy did this today. I put them together. I say, oh, God, try to hold the picture of that.
Because you all take pictures, right? Give me a copy now, please.
And the ultimate picture of that.
Please email me a copy of Facebook. So here we go again. Glenmure High School. You're also from the club?
Yes, I am.
What's your name?
My name is Vanessa Lewis.
And did you just come in, Vanessa?
Yes, we did.
All right, so you're just coming you haven't been to the tabernacle area yet?
No, I haven't.
What are you expecting to capture today?
Well, photographs will capture anything.
What?
About capturing
Why you capturing the moment? Columbus to try that.
She says capturing the moment.
Columbus to try that.
I know, I can't answer the right. She said just a moment.
But it's all people capturing our own. I don't care.
I don't care. Right? So don't capture nothing. You're here running, so just take a picture.
Okay.
All right, so remember to email us some. So what are you going to say to your colleague when you return?
Well, I'll tell them that it's a good experience to come and see what the Rastas do, because, people just think Rastas, they just dress up and whatnot, and to really learn about the
negative connotation.
Do you mind how old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
All right, so these are
she look like a Ethiopian.
Did I get your name? Yes, she does.
Yeah, she look like a Ethiopian. Yeah.
Say that again?
Orel Wooden.
Okay, Orel Wooden. How old are you?
18.
18, very good. And who is from the club? What's your name?
I'm my garden.
And your experience so far? I know you're just coming in, but what do you think about what you see so far?
It's a good event. It was something that I would encourage any young person or anyone just passing by Caspas right now to just come out and have a look at what is going on. It's a really great experience.
And how old are you?
I'm 17 as well.
All right, young people and another Glenmure, right? Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
All right, and your own impression so far?
It's a great experience that I'm glad to get the chance to come and experience Rastafarian culture.
All right, how old are you?
15.
All right, 15. These are really some very, very young people here. Getting, experiencing, photographing, filming, taking the picture up.
Yes.
All that's happening here. Recording.
Yes.
Archiving.
And that's one of the good things of modern technology. I mean, the nowadays gadgets that can be used to capture events like these for posterity, you know. And I mean, to see students here from Glenmuir, which is a noble institution from Clarendon.
All right, Roger, I'm going to cut in right here, Roger, because you see, we can once again throw it back to the tabernacle, and we're very happy to report that we can take it very. Shane, you can indicate to me whether or not we have to take a break before we go, but I really appreciate if we could just throw it back to the tabernacle before we take that break, if you don't mind. Take the break. Then? No? All right, so there's no food there today. Time now for news.
This is news from IRI FM, Jamaica's non-aligned news voice.
Good morning. I am Cherie Hay with the local and international headlines. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen is encouraging justices of the peace in St. Anne to educate people in their communities about the chikungunya and Ebola viruses. The Governor General was addressing JPs at a special meeting held at the Jewel Paradise Resort in Runway Bay recently. Sir Patrick states that some individuals are seeking to keep themselves informed. However, he says some may even be over-informed about CHIKV and Ebola and may be spreading their own versions of how to get the cure. The Transport Authority has added 61 new route inspectors to its inspectorate division. The authority says this is part of its continued efforts to ensure discipline and order in the public transport system. The inspectors who graduated on Friday are the first cohort to be trained at the headquarters of the National Police College. Transport Minister Dr. Omar Davies told the graduates that they have been trained to play an important role in the development and maintenance of a critical sector. Dr. Davies states that an organized transportation system is vital to the economy and the society in many ways. An Austrian national was arrested and charged on Friday after a firearm and several other illegal weapons were found in his suitcase at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. He is 47-year-old Thomas Rossler, business consultant of Austria. Police say a routine search was carried out by the customs enforcement team of one of his suitcases. A .45 U.S. Army model pistol, an empty magazine, 1 round of HB-80 caliber cartridge, 4 knives including 2 daggers, and 1 small hand saw and a pair of binoculars were found. Rossler was arrested and charged for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. He is to appear in the Montego Bay RM Court this Wednesday, November 5. An inmate at the Spanish Town police lockup charged with stabbing another inmate was remanded into custody when he appeared in court on Friday. He is Paris Blair, 27-year-old of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Blair pled not guilty when he appeared before RM Horace Mitchell. He was ordered remanded until next Monday, November 10, when he is to reappear before the court. Allegations are that on October 19, Blair stabbed the complainant with an ice pick during a dispute. Blair was later charged with wounding with intent. In news overseas, protesters are taking to the streets again today, this time to protest the army, which the political opposition says is trying to confiscate the people's ousting of Burkina Faso's president. The military declared itself in charge on Friday after 4 consecutive days of large and at times violent protests. Burkina Faso's political opposition held a brief rally today in Ouagadougou before heading into closed-door talks with the country's military leaders. Finally, pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine began voting today in controversial elections, which the West says it will not recognize. The separatists, who control part of eastern Ukraine's region, are holding elections for leadership and legislative bodies in the areas they control. The European Union and the United States have called the rebel vote illegal, saying it violates Ukraine's constitution and the ceasefire agreement reached on September 5 between separatists and Ukraine's government. Russia has said it will recognize the results of the separatists' elections. And those were the local and international headline. News is next at 11:45. You can go online to irifm.net to view some of the stories. Like us on facebook.com/irifmnews. You may also follow us on Twitter at irifm_news. From the IRFM newsroom, I am Cherie Hay.
That was news from Irie FM, Jamaica.
We are celebrating today the 84th anniversary coronation of His Majesty, His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor Haile Selassie I, and Her Majesty, Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Menin. Standing here with the team. I know Oli Matatal is actually in the kitchen, so we'll get back to Oli shortly. But Muja, we were talking to Queen Mother Moses. She has...
She can't somewhere, yes. She can't on one place. She can't on one place. She's like the field itself.
I'm telling you.
I do want to come back to this artist thing, that we know that sometime when IRFM team function, you always mention like maybe 4 artists were there, and then 100 artists come, so they want to do a one tune. Now, I realize you never said nothing about no artists, and I realize you can count on one and how much artists inside there. So, after hundreds of artists, we say them a Rasta, with claim Rastafari on the stage and ball out to Rastafari. I tell you, say, I can't count the amount of artists from one hand and right as well.
That's becoming the norm.
And we have to how that possible? How that possible that a group of people are ball out Rastafari and make the money off of Rastafari on stage and everywhere? When them have a routine program like this, or any other Naya being it's a function, if them not perform, them don't depend it, them don't come.
And that is why the example set by yourself, set by Chronic, set by Sizzler, set by Kalisa, who are here today, I think is really a very, very good example.
Yeah, we call out what are there, and we have to say,
but not just artists, we also got to talk about artists. They have to put their money where their mouths are. They can't just sing about regular music. They got to have built an institution.
Yeah, but when I say, if them not even coming to a gathering of Rastafari, what kind of institution they expect them to be? Them not having nothing.
Especially a gathering. I mean, especially a gathering, Moja, which is the core then
of Rastafari, yes,
which is the celebration of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty. So it's a very good point you make, and I really support you on that point. Muja.
It's stretching yes. Because you realize it's a hypocritical thing of one.
Yes, absolutely.
Very hypocritical.
All right, I know that, and you're going to try and talk to Chronic, I know, Muja.
Yeah, yeah.
And Felice, and you just spoke with Sister, and I'm walking over, I know you're at the kitchen, and I'm walking towards Ras Miguel Loin, and...
Yes, I'm here at the kitchen. I'm here with actually the president of the Rastafari Youth Council, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about why Rastafari embraces eating ISO and why it's going to be very vital. Yes, Gabriel Menin.
Yeah, I give thanks and praise to the Most High, His Imperial Majesty Empire Selassie I I. It's just Gabriel Menin, representing the Rastafari Youth Initiative Council, you know, so President Chairman. Well, I give thanks for this day, you know. The 83rd anniversary of coronation of his 84th anniversary, coronation of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I. And as Rastafari youth are very grateful to the Emperor, you know, because of a great day in history, with the Emperor crown, resonate a sense of pride and hope in our people who were downtrodden for centuries, you know. So the coronation of the Empire Haile Selassie uplift the spirit of the people, especially black people living down here in the Western Hemisphere, you know. So really give thanks to this day. This day is a majesty day. This day is a prophetic day. You know, this day is the fulfillment of prophecies. And you know, when Christ shall return, the seat upon King David's throne, crown King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conqueror, tribal Buddha. There's a liberation day for all people of the world, you know, for all mankind, you know. So I know just for you. We give thanks.
So we're here by the kitchen. Just talk to us about why is it so important to be idle.
You know, the Rastafari say from long time to be idle, to be vital, you know. And I must refrain from you know, all of the threats of the earth and animals and these things and live naturally, you know, as from the beginning, you know, when Jah commanded man to eat fruit and plants and herbs and these type of things. So it's that ancient tradition Rastafari trying to maintain. And has been maintaining that tradition from ever since inception within this part of the world.
So what types of foods are served at the eat?
Yeah, there's strictly vegetarian food. No meat, you know, like ital stew, you know, natural Irish made from grown provisions, you know, and these type of things. Ital sip, you know, vegetables, grown provisions, banana, pumpkin, fruits, you know, ripe banana, orange, and these type of things, you know. So it's just everything is natural, you know, just natural.
All right, you heard it right here from the president of the Rastafari Youth Initiative Council. I'm going to pass it on right back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ole Madatal. I'm just going to be walking right into a group of, eminent Rastafarians who are all gathered here. Michael Barnett, Dr. Michael Barnett, Ras Miguel Lone, Clinton Hunt. I'm so sorry to interrupt. We're live on air. Miguel, how are you doing?
Blessings, great, nice. Today is Coronation Day. I know the coronation is the start of it. It is the coronation, is the announcement to the world that I am he, Haile Selassie. And that's the great significance of the coronation, why we are all here. Having made that announcement now, we as his children can now hold on to our Father and can continue this great and majestic work.
And Miguel, just what you see unfolding, and talk about continuing the great and majestic work that you want to get to, but what you see unfolding here at Scott's Pass today, on a wider note, considering the upheavals at Scott's Pass in recent times, your own reaction and response to what's happening here today?
There are times when the events overpower the little man and little thinking. This is so big that a person's personal thinking gets swamped by that. And consequently, the overhauling of the events lift everyone to a level now that we're going to have reasoning later on, and we're going to deal with things that affect the community, how we can enhance the community in so many ways. Because the Rastafari philosophy has also developed. We have learned the things that influence us when we were growing up and so on. We have now been able to transcend some of that and move to another level as our knowledge of Africa, as our knowledge of for example, the importance of the Nile Valley civilization.
Thank you. Asking like person where we transcend.
All right, Muta, because Miguel is not hearing you. Sorry, Miguel.
Just asking, like when you transcend, like what aspect in terms of the transcend?
All right, so you said that we have transcended so much. Rastafari has transcended so much. So Muta is asking that such as what?
For example, our knowledge now of linking the ancient African traditions, the ancient African principles, long before even the Bible was written. All of that our sages, our thinkers, our young writers that are coming will see how we can codify to help us to streamline the trod, that it will be a benefit to brothers and sisters who don't get the opportunity to be present on a site like this.
So the idea then is how we move forward, how we go forward, and with what tools in terms of knowledge increasing.
I would say I would move forward. One way is to codify the trod. Some point now, it started out as a heretical trod from 1930, come right up. But like I said, there are many brothers. It has gone now. Argentina, Russia, India, China, all over. So consequently now we need something to guide those brothers and sisters as when we say Rastafari, what it means and what is expected of I and I.
Are you talking about a more centralization of Rastafari?
It has to be. It has to be. The earlier trod was good so that Babylon could not identify any one mansion or any one person or any one group. So in order to kill the movement. But that fragmentation now has to come together as we coagulate towards that mighty crescendo to reflect the principles of Emperor Haile Selassie and Empress Meninai.
All right, and I hear you talk, Ras Miguel, about codify. Dr. Michael Barnett, how are you doing?
Yes, good morning. Yes, Mr. Kabu. Good morning to all the listeners on IRA FM on this majestic day. It's the 84th anniversary of His Imperial Majesty's crowning. And, the reenactment is really a wondrous ceremony to behold. And it reminds me, Mr. Kabu, of the reenactment that Rasaibai did in South Florida in 2005, because I was there, and it was like a theatrical play. The video is not so available, but it's out there, and I'm trying to get Rasaibai to duplicate the play with the full props and everything like that. But that is a play that lasts for 4 hours. I don't know if you heard of it. But
I've heard of it. I knew when it was happening too, and so on. But and so I saw you here early this morning. So you got here pretty early, or were you here from last night?
yes, I was here from the early morning hours. I came about 1:30, checking some of the currents, the drumming and the chanting, and it's great. It's a coming together.
On a personal level, how do you feel about what's happening here today?
Well, I think that, as Ross Miguel said, this event is a one-of-a-kind, and it's brought different groups together. The truth is the Nyabingi mansion has been fractured, but it is an event, and more events like this, I think, will heal those fractures. All right, what I would like to say is just one thing in response to Ross Miguel's comment or centralization. Even though I believe each mansion will keep their separate autonomous identity, we have unity without uniformity. So I don't see realistically we'll have one mansion, but we'll have many mansions, but they must be united by common goals and objectives. That has to happen, and hopefully will happen in the future.
Well, Andrea, and I'm sure this is what Miguel. And give me a minute. Oh, let me just say hello to the brother standing right here. Good morning. How you doing?
Greetings, Mr. Capo.
Your own views on what's going on here?
Well, we're grateful for this, seeing that everything could come here and let the world share with I and I as we celebrate the coronation of His Imperial Majesty. Way back in the 20s, Valentine Petersburg, saw himself as the king of kings and his wife Lula May as the queen of queens, and started a consciousnness where man see himself, as the divine, as the Ethiopian monarch. And we see, how well, actually Rogers coming again and looking towards Ethiopian tradition. Then we see Howell and Hibbert come and cricket with the coronation, the glorious coronation that's the birth of the Rastafari, And I actually put together something to commemorate the coronation.
We're not going to be able to do that tonight, and it's not right now because I have to throw it back to Holy Mother Charles, who is at the kitchen. I know you with somebody also. Roger has.
Yes.
All right, Oli?
Yes, on the note of unity, I have the secretary of the Ancient Council of the Nyabingi Jr., who's going to talk a little bit about how he feels with all the hard work he's been putting in these past few days.
Yeah, well, we give thanks to the INT Coronation 84. Bless everyone that is here, bless everyone who's listening globally, The fire of the burn, as you can see right now, the fire set really high and plenty of wood still left to burn. And we have burn out wickedness in high and low places while we gather all the children of the Most High in peace and love and one unity, one focus, one destiny, one creator, Emperor Selassie, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of tribe of Judah, crown 1930, and this day the original Sunday, So we give thanks to everyone, Baale, Jeddah, Nati Jeddah, someone, everyone was giving eyes because the King for all, a remnant of every nation shall come unto this King of Kings and give their eyes, so it's just one perfect love.
All right. You got to say something about Empress Menen.
Yeah, Empress Menen is the balance, of course, because, she bears one of the greatest oppression, beside the fact that the black man was the big slave and the one that them tried to deceive. They also been deceiving Empress Menen from even before they start deceiving the man by trying to eliminate all of her works, big up Empress Menen, who really was the backbone of His Majesty Emperor Selassie, who built the temple for the Ark of the Covenant, who built so many chapels and schools, Empress Menen, love you.
All right, thank you. Right back at you, Andrea. Kabu.
Thank you very much. Holy Mother Charles. And I know that, Roger, you were actually standing with a group of persons just now. But we're going to go through and talk with those who are standing alone. Muta, once again, it is a steady stream of persons coming in. And I think that we're going to see, we have lots of people here right now. But I think before the day is out, we're going to be having difficulty. We probably should be saying to people park outside from now.
Yeah, we're looking at now. In the night is when our people come. The chanting reach at levels in the night. The chanting become like so vibrant. So I want people know, say, at the night, But I mean, the crowd in the day is very large.
Exactly. So for those persons who are coming in, just know that we really do have a very large crowd here at the Scots Pass Nyabinghi tabernacle. The chanting is happening inside of a tabernacle. I don't know if the tabernacle can hold anymore, but we know that there's an overflow.
No, the tabernacle can't hold anymore inside.
The tabernacle can't hold anymore, but there's an overflow and persons all the way from the gate. My brother, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
And you have been coming here for how long?
It's my first time here at the Bingy Hall in Scots Pass.
Right, where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm living in Central Quebec.
Alright, so what are your thoughts about what you see happening here today?
It's the fullness of Emperor Selassie I of Ethiopia. 84 years since Christ revealed me the character, Rastafari. And Christ is one. And any other Christ is the Antichrist.
And I just see you right here just holding a medal, just holding a steady medal, as they say.
Yes, very steady, but steady medal is that right now, as I'm here at Scots Pass, the Emperor revealed himself unto I on the 6th of October, 1940. And he revealed himself unto I with all his children in front, and he was behind. And this is the final moment, or the final year for Jamaica to come to the realization that Christ is one, and we have to live together as one. We are Christ in his kingly character, sons and daughters of the Emperor. Emperor Selassie I of Ethiopia. So we are his children, and our national anthem is what it is, and we are to live our national anthem.
Thank you very much, my brother. No, we're going to have to go because we have to throw it back to Ole Madatal, Ole, and also to Mutabaruka as we come to you live from the Scots Pass Nyabinghi Center. Who are you with there now, Ole?
I'm here with Sister Yaman, and she's going to tell us how beautiful she feels to be here today.
Well, for me, it's wonderful because having listening to Run in Africa and reading things about accounting, it's so unique because even before I left home, I was saying to my children, it's only in our culture that a male and a female was crowned the same day. And because of the
one thing, if Kabu did announce that you're going to have a couple of artists on this, you don't say only artists come and say they're going to do one thing. I know. This is no invitation thing. For you to Rasta, it's just you can't feel exclusive, inclusive or inclusive. Because if you didn't know so what other stage you are keep, you'd have come. You wouldn't feel no way to come.
And what belies the invitation is the presence of Chronic and Felisa. And History Man, someone and yourself.
You can't count for one and how much reggae artists are. And when Shuaki, and when you call them to do show, you see 1,000 artists who are come to even one song, and there is Rasta, and them ball out Nyabinghi on the stage, and them ball out Holy Emmanuel, and nothing.
Because Rasta has become a nail ticket.
Yes.
It has become a nail ticket.
No. Has largely been something unadvertised, something that the family observed based on a cycle that them know. And even for myself, I had to be taken to an Nyabinghi by an elder. I am saying that we must understand that it is not necessarily something people just like to fall into without an appropriate induction. And I'm saying that we need to be sensitive.
When it's the fall,
like Chronics,
them going to fall down, it's the fall.
Truly, like Chronics and those that you've mentioned have been consistent.
I think you're just being a little bit too lenient.
Well, Ole Madatal says you're being a little bit too lenient.
I think you're being too lenient.
And
with grassroots who are with the movement they're going to be here.
To be fair to Jelani, what he said is that this is not an invitation event.
It's not an invitation
So that's what he
event.
said, right? So that's
You're not connected to the grassroots. You're not connected to the movement. If you're connected to Rastafari, you're not going to know what's going on. So it goes to show you the disconnection of some of these artists.
Okay, is that little sister said that? Okay.
Well,
and Cabo agree with her.
Yes, I do agree with her. She's talking about the disconnection. The disconnect. If you're disconnected from Rastafari, if there's a disconnect between you as, say, a Rastafarian and Rastafari, then you would not know about this.
And watch out. What they know about it, you know, you say what you name the country represent Cape Town. You know,
no, she never said that.
Yeah, she said you represent Cape Town.
No, we cannot put her on the spot.
No, she said she's here and represent Cape Town. Is that to say? Balamati.
No,
it's not that you say. No, seriously, it's not that you say.
I asked her, you asked me where.
No, context. No,
I think we just put her on the spot.
No, she's here, you know. But when asked about Capleton, she said she represents Capleton.
All right, that's the context.
The point I'm making, though, is that we have a situation where this is the first time we're having a broadcast of a coronation celebration.
Yes.
It also has reenactments in there.
Yes.
We have a young generation of artists who actually need this connection in order to make their own track.
One to the older generation of Rasta were artists.
That's why what we said is real
valid. That's about the younger artists now. We're talking about artists who are in a Sizzler age group. Chronics in a young, we have chronics in a young age group. So one to the artists when I Sizzler age group, where every day it's them and said, Holy Emmanuel, Elijah, Rastafari, and I have been there with them there. We're not apologizing to you,
I'm saying that this is a good start, and I'm sure we're going to see the impact.
All right, watch out. Let me tell you something.
I'm so sorry that we have to go for a break.
Yeah, you know that when you keep talking about the university, put it into culture and Rasta, and think none of the artists are not there neither.
What? Speak the truth.
None of the artists are not there neither.
Don't answer Jelani. I'm saving you. Let's go for a quick break. Let's go for a quick break. I'll be right back.
Setamol Cold and Flu gets rid of all your pains, sore throat, fever, runny nose, coughing and sneezing, so you can get back to the happier you. The time by Setamol Cold and Flu is
now 9:47. We're coming to you live from the Bu Tabernacle, just by way of wrapping up. This was and is, because it continues to be so, a historic moment.
Yeah, well, definitely. You know, I mean, this is where Rasta decide and agree upon one thing, that here is the redeemer of the black people. And the crowning of Emperor Selassie and his wife, ushering a new era in a black people understanding of self. Because years after now, we have a group of one named Rastafari. We have continued the journey. And this journey continues all over the globe, even to people who never called. You understand? So we recognize this as important, and we recognize the symbolism of it, and we hope that one-on-one who's here and who have on them computer and them iPad now will spread the message to the, what them call it, world,
to the social media.
And make people understand and see how important it is.
But the one thing, because we're surrounded by so many people, because this is really a big crowd here at Scott Park. Let me just go through quickly before we do our final wrap up, and just to get a few hellos and shout outs and names and so on from the persons who are standing around. Greetings, my brother.
Greetings, sis.
What's your name?
Right, McFarlane.
And where are you coming from?
Coming from Maypen.
All right, give thanks, my brother. Greetings.
Greetings. Good morning.
What's your name?
Davis, and call me English.
Where are you coming from?
Town.
Town meaning where?
Portmore.
Okay, I told him I come from. Hey, greetings.
No, Rastafari. Rastashi coming from Mandeville. It is thanks for this hour, this moment. And we know that His Majesty always speaks on stress and education. And in this time, when education is so important, His Majesty says that all youth must be steadfast and take advantage of the benefits. Good morning, my name is Koyan.
Where are you coming from?
I'm from Mason, Western Park here. It's a privilege to be here. It's a nice turnout and I like the atmosphere. I'm Bongo Teddy in the Bingy House, just for Selassie in the Orthodox Church. I'm from Mineral Lights, here to glorify the King.
reenactment coronation.
Ethiopian Orthodox Church represented. Greetings.
Greetings.
Well, boy, you kind of look like his
I'm a father. Yes, I'm a father, man. King of Kings, you know what I mean? Prince Matthew.
Where you coming from, Prince Matthew?
Richard, a.k.a. Poor. Prince Matthew, King. Look like the king, you know. We try to imitate the king in every aspect of life. So I say,
you're born away.
no, the king revealed himself in our personality for a reason. So I say,
we see you, man. We see you. Greetings, my brother.
Greetings.
What's your name?
Polito Williams.
And you're coming from?
Santa Cruz and Liquid. I'm on the table of no peanut for me, you know.
Which one? Polito Williams. All right, okay.
Yeah, peanut.
Okay, this one goes. Greetings, Mr. Kabu. What's your name? Wilson Allen. And you're coming from?
Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth.
All right, I recognize your name. Greetings.
Oakton Charlton. Mandeville.
All right, give thanks. Who will leave out?
Greetings, I'm coming from Traverse. But Selassie, in a uniform like this most time, only the shoes may black.
Yes, I'm sure
Selassie black is spirit.
Yes, you look like him today, yeah, man.
Everything.
Morning, Sandra.
What's your name?
Mark Daly.
Where you coming from?
All the way from Kingston.
All right, welcome. Who will leaving out here? Okay, greetings.
Kabu.
Name?
Firestone from Richards, no? Tell them to go change their name.
So you leave it right there. Greetings, my brother.
Greetings, everyone from Colgate, yeah, Portland is from Glasgow. The father from Washington, man.
Right, I'm in the area, Muta, we are mainly men are, so the women are somewhere. Yeah, greetings. What's your name?
That's Shirley.
And you're coming from?
I'm Lionel Soul in Clarendon.
All right. Greetings, my sister.
Greetings, sister.
I'm Vincent Monson. Where are you coming from?
Hey.
All right, give thanks.
I have someone from this community. Okay, it's a very good day. Everybody here tonight ourselves represents the Scots Pass, yes, because everybody Ras Mikey, Money, Fair, Mommy, Daddy, all right, Mom signing up.
Yes.
What's your name? How old are you, can you?
6 years old.
Okay, are you enjoying it?
Yes.
I think you listen, I'm enjoying it, I give thanks. What's your name? Chica, and you, where are you coming from? In Fair, good to meet you, Chica. Hello, my brother.
Bless the love, my sister. Rasfal. Got past now being a center. I shot that over, that's over the selection of us. Shot that, shot road from you. Okay, I shot.
What's that got to happen, sir?
First time to be in the book. I really give thanks. I love it, you know. And also give thanks to know you because you're my teacher. You're a motor.
Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, and thank you.
It is Dr. Kabu. Very much pleased to see you. And it's a delight to speak to you.
What's your name?
That's Billy.
And you coming from?
That part.
All right.
Kabu.
Yes.
I was a dentist doctor, you know.
I like the way that sounds, Dr. Kabu.
What's your name?
Aishwa.
You've been here. Well, yeah, you've been here for a little while because you came in a long time ago. What do you think about what happened? What's happening here today?
It's truly educational, inspirational, and just bring you back to the groundation of Rastafari. It's a wonderful experience.
All right, just we're not asking national workers to ask you what's going All right. You know what?
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, and you?
I would love to say hello to my sister over in Linstead and the rest of Rastafari Bridging in Linstead. I'm Jabir, the roots man.
All right, Jabir, the roots man is here. So, we're completely out of time. Any final words from you, Olimat at all?
I just want to say this is a very historic occasion, and it fits the 84th commemoration of the nation, which represents balance. And let's continue to move forward in balance, in unity, and in love.
Roger?
Yeah, great experience with the fire keep burning, and it's just a wonderful feeling to know that we have a set of people in Jamaica who are maintaining an ancient tradition, and it's great to posterity and great for us to continue
during this present time as well. So very good.
Yeah, Shane, I know that you're really sorry that you're not here, but it's not too late, Shane. You can still jump on the vehicle and come down till tomorrow morning, but you can't get tomorrow. You can still come down. I'm going to
you tomorrow.
No, I'm not.
You shall get tomorrow. Well, because it's justice. Rastafari, over the years that I about justice, so we want to let with a call from His Majesty. His Majesty said, there will be no peace until there's equal rights and justice. And a lot of people don't know that was a quote from His Majesty that has been perpetrated by Peter Tasha. There will be no peace until there's equal rights and justice.
All right, this is how we're leaving it. Ever since we've been driven yesterday, I've been Genesis 49 verse 10 on my mind. The chapter shall not depart from Judah.
I'll give up from between the street until Shiloh come to King shall together now.
Thank you very much for the word. Thank you very much.
49.
Verse 10.
Yes.
Yes.
Isaac talking to him 12 sons.
Yes, yes. Simeon and Levi brothers.
Israel talking to him 12 sons.
Yes.
And left out him daughter.
So, yes, the daughters left out of that.
Biblical scholar.
Yeah. All right, this is how we're wrapping things up from here. Thanks to the team, our hardworking team on the ground, including Ricardo Powell, our chief engineer on the ground here today, Irvin Duwata. Greetings. I thought we don't get a name. And also